So, hello, dear colleagues. My name is George, and I'm a co-founder of ARNA Genomics. And today we are here on the call about ARNA Panacea with our tech lead, Magomed.
Hi, George.
Yeah. And we're going to talk with our advisor, PD Dr. Soenke Bartling, well known as the founder of Blockchain for Science project. Hi, Soenke, and glad to talk to you today.
Hi.
Yeah.
So, hi, Soenke. Hi, George. Thank you for finding time in your tough schedule to have a discussion with us. I personally really appreciate your input in the project.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I start a little bit talking about ARNA Genomics project, so everybody will be, understanding what we're talking about. So at this point of time, we have two products. First one is ARNA BC. It's a short one for breast cancer. It's a really high accuracy test. We have developed a test based on DNA blood plasma analysis. And from what we see in our lab tests, it gets accuracy and sensitivity and specificity, both all of these three parameters higher than 95%, which makes it quite unique in the market with no competition at all. And the other product we're also bringing in a bundle with this test, either ARNA Panacea. This is what we call the blockchain ecosystem. We would like to build, which will help to prove such technologies as ARNA BC, prove to the world and to anybody who's looking into them that they actually work. The guy that's here, mobile phone of someone. Maybe you can tell about your experience in blockchain, so everybody will understand.
Yeah. This is like what you described, like using the immutability of blockchain to like actually prove results and data. This is actually the thing that brought me to think more about what blockchain could actually do in science and knowledge creation. Yeah. So you basically timestamp with a hash, like certify that you have the data. You don't have to publish it, but it's immutable, so you can't change it. I mean, scientists today, we all know it. At the best case, they are a little bit biased. In the worst case, they actually want to like manipulate their data a little bit to like fulfill certain criteria. Think of it when you are like just like at the p-value of 0.05 and you assume like one mouse maybe had a cold, so you drop it from the list, right? We all know that these things are happening, but it's even a much more important scenario when you think about approval studies or to assess a technology like you are doing early on in early stages. It would be much more trustworthy if you can like prove that the test actually works without having to trust you personally. I mean, which I do, but we all know how these things work, right? So this data trail brought me into what blockchain could do for science. And then there are like many more things like censorship-proof data storage. And then the whole crypto economy evolved, which is also a very exciting field. And I think like all these things like new crowdfunding concepts, ICO will play a role in science. So I'm looking into this, like basically founded a think tank, an information hub. We maintain a living document on this. And I'm excited to see that these things actually come to reality that you are doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. So, do you actually use, so you write a document on open science, So any other ideas how to use blockchain? I mean, this is just, I think, one application we're talking about. And
for science, exactly, the data trailing, this will be a main thing. And then you have like things like maybe even a research DAO to distribute research money or like provable ways of assessing the value of research. Like at the moment, some company is calculating the impact factor. And if you could do this via smart contracts, that would be cool as well, right? So you can prove it. Or think of implementing novel ways of research money distribution. Everybody is concerned about the tax money to distribute it in a very well and clear way. So you can't come up with novel ways, or you can't distribute it to the amount of tweets that you have or likes on Facebook or ResearchGate, because you know that these things can be manipulated. But in blockchain world, it is no longer possible. So we can easily implement novel ways of research money distribution. Maybe ways that incentivize like real result sharing and real innovation better than our current methods, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
This integration of technologies with the science is very exciting, really.
It is.
So,
it is. Yeah.
How big is the community of around the blockchain for science, and what are do you have some exact goals?
Yeah, so I mean, like the community is growing, right? Like 2 years ago, Bitcoin was for darknet, or maybe 2.5 years ago for crazy things. And 1 year ago or 1.5 years ago, there were some people on Twitter thinking about the application in research and science. And now the community is growing, but I think we are like in the very beginnings that people realize the potential. And well, there are like more and more people like commenting on the living document. There are like more and more tweets on this field. Companies look into it. So it's something that's happening. But I mean, the blockchain hype, it's happening everywhere, like in economy, everywhere. So I understand that these things are more interesting to the most people, but science will not be affected by the blockchain revolution or evolution, however you will call it. And I think we will see much more things, and like what you guys do, using it to basically prove that the test works to like everybody in the internet who can see it. This is like one way of this implementation, you know?
Okay, that sounds great. Since our company is integrating blockchain to support clinical trials, as I said before, I've been thinking about this for quite a long time, and we come up with Magomed together with an idea, the following idea I would like to discuss with you. ARNA Panacea architecture is already being formulated, so we have already started actual development, and guys are working on it. And I think Magomed will step up and tell you about what is currently going on, because he's much better at this than I am. And regarding ARNA BC, we've got a chance to hold a meeting with one of the major opinion leaders in oncology liquid biopsy, who's called Mr. Charles Cantor, and you can easily look him up on Google. He has a profile on Wikipedia, and he's one of their co-inventors of methods of working with heavy DNA molecules during PCR electrophoresis, as far as I understand.
Yeah. So to like, with my own words, instead of like, it's called liquid biopsy. So you look in the blood, whether certain genes are present, and if they are present, the patient might have like breast cancer, for example. Yeah.
The idea behind this is really, really simple, and everybody, understands this should work, but no one has yet managed to do a good test for cancer with that. The basic idea is that when the tumor cells grow, they also decay very fast, and as they decay, they die, and the DNA from their cells, it gets into the bloodstream. And in case this DNA is somehow different from the normal cells, you can measure it by just taking blood. And it's called liquid biopsy because biopsy is just taking sample of tissue or something from the body. And blood is just one of the body liquids, which is much easier and less harmful to take.
You don't need to me as a radiologist, we do it all the time, like put the needle into the patient, like under image guidance. Here you can just get a drop of blood. I understand that. I actually looked into these things, very interesting. This was not my field of research, but I talked to some friends, and I mean, if this like really works, it's like a big thing, right? A really big thing. And there are like companies out trying to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
A lot of companies are trying to do that. A lot of scientific guys and companies, and so far everybody in the market, they could only manage to find a solution which is like at the top level, it gets like 80% accuracy.
Yeah.
Rough numbers. So this means that every fifth person gets mistaken results.
Yeah. I understand
that. 6%. Yeah, and what we see, it's higher than 90% and even higher than 95%. So it's much accurate.
I mean, 95% is like, this is like what we call like a well-working test, right? I mean, it depends on like whether you want to use it for screening or not, but if we are above 90% in something, it's good. It's considered good in clinical medicine, right?
Yeah. It is. So the idea is that we have a technology, and we have now we have to prove to regulator it works, and there is adopted procedures to do that. But besides that, we had like more than a month ago, we had a really long discussion with Mr. Cantor on Skype about our technology, and he got into really many asked a lot of detailed questions on our technology because he's a real expert in that. Yeah. And at the point we had to stop because we are not able to reveal everything yet because it's in the process of patenting. We only have one patent and we want to get more patents. We want to be as much protected as we can. So after that he said, okay, I understand that you cannot disclose it to me, and you're right, you're not doing that, because even if you had a patent, that was his real words. I have had experience working with legal companies who specialize in breaking patents. So there are legal ways to make another patent and still, so to say, steal your technology. So, and he said, you are completely right. And what I suggest, he said, that I take, let's say, 30 or 50 blood samples from women somewhere, maybe in China, maybe in Russia. We have to come up with how we do that. And I make this list just completely blind to you. So I send you a set of tubes with blood or with blood plasma, just marked like X1, X2, X3, etc. And you won't know any more information about that. And I will have, he will have a list stating that X1 is this patient, X2 is this patient with this diagnosis. So when we come back with results, so we say X1 is yes, X2 is no cancer, X3 is again yes. He just can put this data together and say and see for himself whether it really works or not. So it's like testing a black box technology. So you do not know how it works exactly, but you know what you put on the input and what you get on the output. So you can somehow understand whether it works or it's just blind guessing. Because if we blind guess, we'll get somewhere around 50%. Probability of get the right results. I mean, between yes and no. So that is why we want to. We agreed we will run this blind test. But as our project moves, I decided that this will be very interesting. Not only run and prove that our test works for him, but also for anybody in the world. And this is a real, a real challenge to do because no one has done that before. I suggest we run an experiment based on blockchain. So we tomorrow on Saturday we will go. I will go, and Igor Melnikov, founder, and his father Anatoly Melnikov, who is our head of science. We all three are going to Copenhagen in Denmark and sit down with Charles and talk. And we probably will also get online with Michael Grubman, who is our CRO advisor from Atlanta Clinic, which is based both in US and Russia. And he's CEO of this CRO, so to say. What do you think about this? And I'm really thrilled with this opportunity.
So he challenges you, right?
Yeah.
He wants to test you, yeah? Yeah, maybe he doesn't believe your results and he wants to put up a challenge, yeah?
Of course he doesn't. No one believes such results. I mean, it doesn't matter how good or bad they are. No one will believe by default.
I understand that, but it's nice that he comes over and puts you up with a challenge and everything, yeah? And so that he can't change the results, you can't change them. You basically use the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, and time stamping, that I mean, this is it's a perfect use case, right? It's I'm happy to see this in reality and happy to expose these things to the public. And I keep my fingers crossed that your test works. First at all, and then second, I hope that we can have this as an example in the future, and you will get attention so that people will actually learn about this idea and concept, and it will become a standard method in the future. Yeah,
that's what we want to do, but this is a really long road to that.
Yeah, it's exciting, no matter what. I mean, we hope that the test works, right?
Yeah,
well,
actually,
it's science, right? Mm-hmm. It's science.
We are not, we're not in theology or religion. We are working in science, so we have to prove. Prove it.
Yeah.
And that's why we're using blockchain actually. And I would say that we already have some core modules to support this trial, and I would estimate that we could finish it at the middle of October, and we're gonna open the repository on GitHub, so the code will be reviewed by open source community. We found actually a very powerful framework named Scorex to implement our ARNA Panacea proof of concept, let's say. The Scorex is just less than 4K lines of Scala code, so it's very manageable, very easy for start. And if we will need to onboard new developers, we could accelerate very, very fast with it. Yes.
Okay.
As a consensus algorithm, we're gonna use a delegated pause, I think. For smart contracts, we will use a Turing incomplete language pact, which is a Lisp-based language. So yes, and by contracts, we're gonna define the authorization, the access rights to transactions. So for now, to complete this proof of concept to the middle of October, we need to increase some test coverage a bit to secure ourselves. And once we're live, we will never be able to change anything, even if our blind tests will go wrong for any reasons. So that's a huge reason. This is a huge risk.
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah. I understand that. Yeah.
I can tell you about this risk. I am a co-founder of the project, and with my partners who've been, working and financing this for quite a long time, we're at a point in time when we started to doubt whether it really works or we are just believing in our own, dreams.
Yeah,
so
I know.
A blind test by ourselves. So we took 33 blood samples and we blinded them ourselves without letting Igor or his father, scientist, know what is it, and we gave them to him, and he ran tests for one, I think, as I remember, it was something like one day, and get back to us with results. and we unblinded them ourselves. And we only got, this is a real story which I was part of, we only got one error, so 32 samples out of 33 were detected completely correctly. And we even could, because our test, we have also ran it, we have repeated the test on the same blood sample over the time, because we have samples and they're frozen, and at any point of time we can take them out of the fridge and run the test. And we understand that repeatability of the test is really, really good.
Yeah.
So you're just not getting results like plus or minus. You get some kind of value from 0 to 2.0. So it's like 1.3, 2, or 1.5, or 0.9, etc. And from this value, you can understand how data changes over time. So our idea now, what we want to do, and what I wanted to discuss with you, is that we want to run this blind test with Charles, but make information put this information about it in blockchain, so everybody will be able to see that neither of us, neither Mr. Cantor nor us, could affect results. So yet will be not only trustworthy to him, but also to anybody who will look into that.
Yeah.
Quite exciting. This is not yet a regulatory approval, and this will not get us permission to sell the test to people, but in any case, this is a huge step, forward.
No. It is. So to wrap it up with my own words, he will give you blood samples. Some of them have a disease like breast cancer. Some of them don't, right?
Yeah.
And you tell him which one has breast cancer in different stages, right? They are like maybe a small tumor, maybe large tumor, maybe metastasis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and some are just like normal patients that don't have anything, yeah?
Yeah.
And you hope to get above 90%, maybe 95%, maybe 97%, yeah?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, above 90%, we should get above 90%.
Yeah.
The only problem I see here we can run into, because we have already noticed this in our lab, and this can be the case when we take blood sample from healthy people. They officially might not have cancer, but we can detect it on really, really early stage when it's almost not seen yet, but by normal diagnosis. So even if we get so-called false positive people, so healthy people with positive test shows they are positive, we'll need to track them over time to make sure this is an actual error, hopefully error of our test, and not actual cancer. Yeah.
So do you think it will be like as good, so good that you could use it for screening?
Yes, that's where we are targeting for screening.
Yeah, I don't like this idea.
Very strong claim. This is,
because we do mammography radiologists, right?
And mammography is at maximum. It's 80%. It's
I know that. Big discussion.
And for example, for Chinese women, it's like less than 50% because
different breast structure.
They have really dense tissue.
Yeah.
And there is a problem. If you look on our website, we have market review for breast cancer, and I think this is a separate document from white paper. I think this will be also very interesting for you because there is a lot about breast cancer and its diagnostics. Yeah. So we prepared it ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
So tomorrow, I have a flight there. I will update you on the results, and I think we will ask your advice and your help during preparation for such testing.
Yeah, that's cool. And Magomed, it will be available for others to use this, right? To use this concept, yeah? Yeah, you said this, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We do it open source. So
yeah. So you can
anybody can contribute. Yeah.
And you will publish about that, right? Like in a scientific abstract or paper or presentation.
Well,
yeah.
I think we will mention it in a groups, in professional groups around blockchain, and
yeah. I want to cite it in the living document. Yeah.
Great, for sure,
No
for
problem.
sure.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
be happy.
Yeah.
More welcome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Soenke, for finding time to talk to us. Yeah, in your tough schedule, and I hope to talk to you really soon after we set up everything. So I'll let you know. I'll text you tomorrow about the results of our meeting. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
Soenke.
Have a nice weekend and safe traveling.
You
Thanks.
too.